Guys, Miss Ellis here again, just popping in to give you a consistent overview as to what to expect regarding your FRQs. So just a reminder, right? Your AP exam consists of a 100-point multiple choice test and 2 FRQs. That multiple choice is 2/3 of your score. The FRQs are 1/3 of your score, approximately, how it kind of like breaks down. So these are really important. And we want to make sure that we are setting you up and you are able to practice a process that is going to help you score as many points as possible, right? Oftentimes we know what a term is or what a concept is, but when we actually go to like write it down or to write like a free response answer, it doesn't thoroughly translate, and readers, graders, whomever have a difficult time of clarifying what you're trying to say. So we are setting up this process called SOTAs, which is going to give you the best chance at scoring for your AP exam. Okay, so this is the acronym SOTAs. It stands for spacing, order, define, application, no synonyms. Okay, we will go through each of these using a specific kind of prompt that I've handwritten myself to give you guys some insight into what this will look like, the process. So the first, like I said, the first letter S is spacing. You are going to actually go through and write out each of the terms that are provided to you. Now, I want to give clarification because if you have taken an AP class in the past, you are probably envisioning like a 5-paragraph essay with an introduction, supporting arguments with supporting research or facts or something along those lines, something really beautiful, tied up nice in a neat bow. That is not the expectation here for AP Psych. AP Psych, in some regards, is easier in terms of what the expectation is for our free response questions. Now, with that said, the difficulty lies in just how much stuff you need to know. But the actual like format of the AP Psych FRQs is relatively easy. So you are going to start by leaving about 5 lines blank between each separate component of your answer. So like I said, you're going to be provided with like a scenario and then like a bullet point list of terms that you are going to need to make relevant to that scenario. Okay. So for example, this particular practice FRQ has chunking, proactive interference, semantic memory, recognition, and state dependent memory. Actually go through and write these out and give yourself that space because our next letter is order. Okay, we want to make sure we are presenting the content in order. Now, if you present it out of order, will you lose points? No, but we want to make sure you're putting yourself in the best possible position to score these points. Okay, and so for somebody who's reading hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of FRQs for the AP exam, having them in the same order makes it really easy for them to locate your answer and clarify what exactly you are responding to in the prompt. Okay, so list those components in order, giving yourself space. Another benefit of doing this is it allows you to kind of work through them in whatever order you see best, while still providing the reader the final product being in order. So if I know recognition 100%, I know what that is, I might answer that one first, right? These are timed tests, right? So we want to put our best foot forward. So I'm going to answer the ones that I know really, really well. I'm going to answer recognition, state dependent memory, proactive interference. And then I figure I kind of forgot what chunking was, right? So I'm going to leave that one for last, right? But it's still presenting final product, presenting in order, even if I don't answer them in order. You sniffing what I'm stepping in? That makes sense? Yeah? Okay. So then for the content, what this is actually asking you to do, the first thing you're going to do is define each of those terms. You're going to tell me, what is it? Yeah? Once you have briefly explained each of the concepts, you are going to then relate it to the example provided. Each term must be specific and must specifically then connect to the scenario. So you haven't been shown this like particular prompt, but for this example, right, we're looking at chunking. Our definition, it involves placing a larger amount of items to be memorized into smaller groups in order to increase short-term memory capacity. Sean should break his list of vocab terms into smaller groups to better remember for his test, right? That maybe sounds a little bit repetitive, but you are putting yourself in a position, your reader knows, okay, they know what this is and they know how it applies, even if there's a little bit of overlap. Now, in this example, Sean should break his list into vocab terms into smaller groups to better remember for his test. That alone might score, right? Depending on how the wording is on the scoring guide. But to put ourselves in the best position to score full points, we want to tell our readers, yes, we know what this is and we can apply it. Okay, so for every term, what is it? How does it apply to this scenario? Then we want to make sure that we are not reusing the word in our definition. So the final S is to use synonyms. This is a really good example. Chunking involves placing terms into chunks, right? That does not tell your reader that you know anything. It tells them that you can maybe, for lack of a better word, BS your way into knowing these terms and these ideas. But if you instead were to say chunking involves placing these into smaller groups instead of smaller chunks, right? You see the difference there. You should be using synonyms in your definition. Okay, don't use the word to define the word. That doesn't work, doesn't count. So again, so does spacing, order, definition, application, synonyms. Okay, that is the plan. What you are going to do now, you are going to, with your partners, and I'll kind of let your sub handle this how they want to, but you're going to do a few practice FRQs. Okay, a reminder that your FRQ tomorrow is a partner FRQ, one of the supports that we have built in order to make sure that you're understanding the process of testing in AP Psych, and we're not just throwing you in the deep end. But I do want you to practice with this process. I want you to actually physically write out these terms, define them, connect them. I don't care if you use your notes or whatever. I'm more focused on like, what is the end product going to look like? Okay, so go ahead, take the rest of the block to do this and work on your memory, study guide assignment, and good luck. You got this. We're in it together. You got this.